Ever thought about like how we're going to fuel, the future? I mean, moving away from fossil fuels and all that, it's not like poof, everything's solar powered overnight, right?
Nice.
So that's what we're diving into today. Alternative fuels engineers. They're the ones figuring out how to power, well, us in a more sustainable way. And let me tell you, it's way more than just solar panels.
Oh, absolutely. People think alternative fuels, they think solar, maybe wind, but it's a whole world of possibilities out there.
Like what? Give me some examples.
We're talking biofuels,
Mhm.
things like algae, even agricultural waste can be used. Then there's hydrogen fuel cells. That's a whole other area.
Hold up, algae. How do you even...
Right. It's wild. Some algae, they produce oils that can be turned into biodiesel. So your car running on basically pond scum.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And that's just one. We've got bioalcohol that's made from plants, then fuels from biomass, think wood chips, crop leftovers, that kind of thing.
See, I knew it was more than just solar. This is way more interesting than I thought. But what does an alternative fuels engineer actually do?
They're the ones who take these ideas, these green dreams, and make them a reality.
Yeah.
Designing the systems, the parts, even the equipment that's going to replace our reliance on fossil fuels. That's them.
So, like, the architects of a cleaner future.
Exactly. Instead of blueprints, they're using, science, engineering to build a more sustainable world.
Okay, I'm definitely more on board now. But before we get into, like, careers and all that, we keep mentioning LNG, LPG, biomass. What are those exactly?
Good point. We should clarify. LNG, that's liquefied natural gas. LPG is liquefied petroleum gas. So they're still fossil fuels, but they burn cleaner than regular gasoline or diesel, like a stepping stone to the even cleaner stuff.
Gotcha. And biomass.
Biomass is any organic matter, wood, crops, anything like that, that can be burned for fuel.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, so someone wants to get into this field, become an alternative fuels engineer. What kind of education are we talking? Got to be pretty intense, right?
It's engineering, so yeah, pretty demanding. A solid foundation means a core engineering degree. Mechanical, electrical, or chemical. Those are your big three.
So those engineering degrees, those are like your ticket to the game, right? To even play in this field.
Exactly. But to really stand out, it's competitive. A master's degree,
Right.
that gives you an edge.
Makes sense. Specialize, like really focus on one type of fuel or tech.
Right. Renewable energy sources, alternative fuels specifically, those are good areas.
Okay, so you've got the degree, but what about like actual skills? Is it all just like formulas and stuff or what?
It's definitely not just formulas, though those matter. Think about it. These engineers, they work on huge projects, lots of people involved.
Right, got to work together.
Exactly. So communication, that's huge. Problem solving on the fly, analyzing data, all that matters just as much as knowing the science.
So it's like a people person who's also a science whiz? That's a tough combo.
It's a demanding field for sure. And speaking of which, let's get into career paths. Where can this actually take you?
Yeah, so someone's listening and they're like, all right, I'm sold on this whole saving the world thing. What's their first step?
Well, we've got that RoleCatcher info, and luckily, there are lots of ways in. Internships, always good. Research projects, even student clubs, anything sustainability focused gets your foot in the door.
Get that experience early. I bet that real world stuff is way different than the classroom.
Totally. So you start entry level, maybe assisting senior engineers, doing research, seeing how it all works for
Like an
real.
apprenticeship almost.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Then you get some experience on your belt, you move up, maybe a junior alternative fuels engineer. Now you're designing components, running tests, actually getting involved in the nitty-gritty.
No more just watching from the sidelines. Now you're in the game.
Exactly. And as you keep learning, you can become an intermediate engineer, leading projects, figuring out how to make things more efficient, even working with, like, suppliers to make sure the parts are good and affordable.
This is like career ladder climbing 101, except instead of a corner office, you're getting like a cleaner planet.
Something like that. And at the very top, you've got your senior alternative fuels engineer.
The big boss. What do they do exactly?
They're not just working on one project. They're leading the whole thing.
Yeah.
Thinking big picture strategy, which technologies to use, advising teams and partners. It's high-level stuff.
Wow, so you really can climb the ranks in this field. But be honest, is there even the demand for all these engineers? Like, are there enough jobs?
Oh, absolutely. This field is booming, and it's only going to get bigger.
What's driving that?
Well, governments all over, they're setting big goals to fight climate change, right? That means moving away from fossil fuels, which means...
They need people who know how to do that.
Exactly. Plus, all kinds of industries are trying to be more sustainable. Transportation, manufacturing, energy companies,
Okay.
they all need these skills.
So senior alternative fuels engineers are going to be in high demand, huh?
Oh, absolutely. They're the ones who can actually implement those big picture solutions.
So it's not just about like finding any job, it's about having this whole roadmap to success.
Right? And that's where RoleCatcher comes in.
Yeah.
We've mentioned it, but how does it actually help someone, navigate all this?
Yeah, let's get specific.
Well, they got this whole database of career guides, and there's one specifically for alternative fuels engineers.
Oh, so it's tailored to this exact field.
Exactly. It breaks down everything we've been talking about, the skills, the education, even like potential interview questions. It's all there.
That's awesome. So you're not just like thrown into the deep end with no clue.
Right. And it's not just info. They've got actual tools to help you get hired.
Yeah.
Their CV and resume builder, that's a big one.
Oh, yeah, resumes are the worst.
Tell me about it. But RoleCatcher, it helps you tailor it to each job you apply for. So you're highlighting the right skills, the stuff employers actually care about.
That's huge. Those applicant tracking systems are brutal. Anything to make yours stand out helps.
For sure. And don't forget their career compass thing.
Yeah.
If you're like, okay, what's my next step? That tool can help you figure it out.
So it's kind of like having a career counselor in your pocket.
Exactly.
Very cool. Oh, and what about those practice interview questions? They had like thousands, right?
Yeah, 120,000 to be exact. And it's specific to this field. So you're not just practicing like generic interview stuff. You're ready for anything they throw at you.
That's got to be such a confidence booster knowing you've already prepped for the tough questions.
Right. It takes the edge off for sure.
Love it.
It's all about empowering you, the person looking for the job, to actually, make it happen.
Yeah.
And to pursue this whole like passion for a better future.
Which is what it's all about, right? So to wrap things up, it sounds like this alternative fuels engineer path, it's not just a job, it's
making a difference.
exactly, you're using your brain, your skills to actually have a positive impact.
And it's only going to get more important. The world needs these solutions. So the work you do, it matters.
That's a good feeling to have. Well said. Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive here, and I gotta say, I learned a lot.
Me too. It's fascinating stuff.
It really is. And for anyone listening who's thinking, hey, maybe this is for me, what's your advice?
Don't be afraid to go for it. This field needs passionate people, and there's so many ways to get involved. So yeah, explore it. See what's out there.
And remember, RoleCatcher can help you every step of the way. So keep learning, keep exploring, and we'll catch you in the next deep dive.